Your future success is hidden in your daily routine. At the age of 18, I've achieved many of the goals which I had once dreamed of. I grew a successful consulting business, got into fairly decent shape, and inspired millions of young men around the world to get their lives in order. But none of this could have been possible without proper structure. Rather than relying solely on motivation, my routine gave me the ability to make consistent progress, whether I felt like it or not. So today, I want to break down exactly how I structure my days to live intentionally, ensuring that every single day I'm making progress towards becoming a better man, serving those around me, and achieving my goals. So hopefully you can do the same yourself. All right, let's start with the morning ritual. So at 5 a.m. every single day, I aim to wake up. I have a alarm clock, which is a sunlight alarm clock. So it wakes up with like bird sounds and it shines light in my room, which is supposed to replicate the sun, but I don't think it has the same like UV effect. So it's basically just a warm light, which wakes me up in the morning, along with some subtle birds. I don't recommend blasting loud alarm clock noises. That seems like a very jarring way to start your day, and I don't know how people function off of that. So just one alarm, I don't have 20, and it's very calming, wakes me up. When I wake up, I go straight to the bathroom. I am shaving, I am washing my face, brushing my teeth, all that fun stuff, weighing myself. At 5:30, I meditate for 20 minutes. Every single morning. Maybe I'm a few minutes off, but 5:30 every single morning, I aim to start 20-minute meditation. This is so effective, especially first thing in the morning, because it primes your brain to be present, to be peaceful, to not seek stimulation. When I'm meditating, I don't play crazy music. I'm not doing some like crisscross applesauce breathing exercise. I'm just sitting in this chair. I have like it's meditation music I have playing in noise canceling headphones, but it's really just one frequency to kind of tune out anything going on outside my window. If family wakes up, whatever it is, I just want it to kind of tune that out. So I'll play that to just keep my mind at ease. And the whole time I'm just focused on every time my mind wanders, I'm bringing it right back to a present state, to the now. And the way I do that is it's kind of silly and oddly specific, but it works. I try to direct my focus to the ridge of my nose because that's directly in the center of your face. And when you think about it, you can kind of feel it and you can kind of visualize it very simply. So every time my focus fragments, I bring it right back to a singular spot, which I can consistently define. So very effective technique, starts the day off to ensure you're fully present. 20 minutes later, I start my Bible study. So I use a method called SOAP, which is scripture, observation, application, prayer. What that means is I'll read a chapter, I will underline everything that stands out, and then I'll pick one of those verses. I will write it down at the top of a page of a notebook. Second step is observation. Observation, I'm just writing down everything I can kind of observe as it is in the name from that verse, and then I'll go into application. So application is in one or two sentences, how can you make what you just learned, what you just observed from this verse, applicable towards your life? There's a quote that goes, "The definition of learning is a change in behavior." If you hear something and your behavior doesn't change, most likely you didn't learn. So I want to ensure that I'm actually learning from that scripture. And with the prayer, I am really just speaking to God, asking for guidance to live as closely to Christ as possible. After I do the Bible study at about 6:15 every day, depending on how long that Bible study takes, I'll actually go off and do a journaling session. This is something I neglected for my entire life. I knew I needed to put thoughts on paper, but I neglected it because it's such a boring and monotonous task, which I just didn't want to embark on. It was a dragon I was scared to slay. As silly as that sounds, and as minuscule of a task and habit this is, it really did feel like this massive challenge, this massive hurdle to leap over. So 30 minutes a day, I force myself to journal. And I use the word force because whenever it comes to it, after I've done that whole Bible study and I've sat in a chair for 20 minutes thinking of nothing, or aiming to at least, the last thing I want to do is open up a journal and just write for half an hour. But I force myself to do it. And the funny thing is, after 5 minutes, once I start to get a groove on the journaling session, I normally start to love it. Like, it really is such a great habit. It clears the mind. Anything that's been stressing you out, it just defines it. And this is where you just have to trust the pen and the paper. Just let the thoughts fly. And naturally, you'll see that a lot of these things which have been burning in your mind and which have been so distracting and anxiety inducing just start to sort of dilute as you bring them to the light and you put them into words. So, incredible habit. Please, I recommend doing it every single day. And yeah, you don't have to write a whole book. Don't expect anyone to read your journal. Don't think you're going to be famous and these journals are going to be published. Just write for yourself. That's the most important thing. Okay, and then around 6:45, again, these times are kind of just estimates and what I aim for, but some days it's sooner, some days it's later. At 6:45, I have breakfast and I take supplements, coffee, electrolytes, all that fun stuff, which then leads to my workout at around 7 to 7:15. Some days I'll go to the gym. Some days I will go for a run on the beach. The goal with a gym session is to stick to a workout program. Be as disciplined and as rigid as you can with sticking to the plan. I don't do spontaneous workouts. I don't show up to the gym and think, oh, I was supposed to hit legs today, but I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna hit arms instead. I do what is planned. And because of that, I'm able to consistently make predictable progress. If I'm constantly leaning into what feels right or trying to avoid fatigue and being tired, I will never make progress. Being tired, being exhausted is a privilege. It's a privilege to be exhausted because you know that you put in all you had. If you're not tired, then I'd question if you had more to give, if you could have pushed yourself further, if you could have showed up better. I know that every day I did exactly what I set out to do, and over weeks and months and years, I will see progress. Because if I'm constantly showing up better every day, in a year, things are going to be drastically different. That's the mindset you need to have. It's not work out whenever you feel like it. It's not do whatever you want whenever you enter the gym. It is stick to the plan. Do what you told yourself you were going to do. And this discipline, this ambition, this neglect of the mind telling you to stop, of fighting against resistance, this is what pays dividends. This is what changes your life. Not just your life, but from a neurological standpoint, it quite literally changes your brain. It grows a part of the brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. This part of the brain is the command center for tenacity, willpower, and effort. This part of the brain grows when you do something you don't want to do. I hate doing the assault bike every day. Every time I go in the gym, the one machine, the one piece of equipment I don't want to touch is the assault bike. So what do? Every time I enter that gym, I have to do 30 minutes on the assault bike at a set speed. It sucks. The last 10 minutes, I want to drop the speed down. I want to let go of the handlebars and just relax for a second. But I told myself I would do this. And because of that, every single time I enter that gym, I leave with my brain slightly more developed, slightly stronger, with more tenacity. And this is the power of sticking to the routine you set for yourself, of sticking to the program. And that's what I do every day at 7:15 to about 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I have breakfast, which is typically a bowl of ground beef, rice, and eggs. I'm a huge advocate for eating whole foods. I'll eat a whole pound of grass-fed, 100% grass-fed, organic, 93.7 ground beef practically every day. And I've gotten blood work done to know that my cholesterol, my blood pressure, all these numbers are totally fine. Some people can deal with high red meat consumption, high egg consumption. Some people can't. So definitely get your blood work done if you're going to do this. I've been running this for quite some time, and it's one meal which has so much protein, so many nutritional benefits, which I never get tired of. And if I do get tired of it, put a little honey in it, chop up some bananas. I'm telling you, it sounds really weird. Chop up some bananas, throw that into it, and it tastes like an entirely different meal. So it's a great little breakfast hack if you want to try it out. And then about an hour later, after cooking and eating, I'll go off and walk the dog. This is great to digest the food. So right after I finish eating, I'm walking. This is great for getting sunlight exposure. I already had sunlight exposure on the walk to the gym because I typically walk to the gym. But this is like that second hit of sunlight when the sun is really out. I'm here in LA, so right now clouds are non-existent. It's summer, it's beautiful, it's so nice. And then 10:30, I'm off and I'm on with the day. The day started, I'll read, I'll study, I will work on my business, I will create content. Sometimes I'll journal, sometimes I'll go to the beach and read there, I'll hang out with a friend. Every single day is different. So that's why that's not a part of the routine. It's more so just a set of things that need to get done that vary each and every single day. I aim to follow this routine as precisely as possible. But of course, life is life. Some days things need to be attended to that are much more important than just sticking to the routine. So I got to get thrown off. However, I make it a primary aim of mine to get right back on track as quick as possible. There'll be some days where my entire day, I just have to throw the routine aside. I have to tend whatever needs tending, and the next day I'll get right back to the routine. Or there are other days where in the morning something happens, some event's going on, or I have something that I need to get done that arises out of nowhere and I wasn't expecting it. Or, I have some slight caveat in what's going on in the morning. And that just simply means, okay, maybe I won't journal, or I will cut the meditation to 10 minutes and I'll go take care of what needs to get taken care of. But that also means I'm right back onto the routine as quick as possible. So I'll go right back to the gym after that thing is done to make sure I'm right back on track, and then breakfast, walk dog, everything else is the same. But I really don't want to get to a point where I'm going 2 days with a non-existent routine. It can be somewhat incomplete, but 2 days in a row without a routine builds a new habit to not follow a routine, and you'll start to become complacent with a lack of structure and organization. And that is when everything starts to cascade into fragmented catastrophes. And that is when it becomes dangerous. So you have to ensure that if one day goes wrong, the next day you're getting back onto it. Or if one event slightly veers off course, you're just adjusting your focus. Just like in meditation, you're adjusting it right back on track the second it veers off course. The right routine is the one that works for you. So I just listed my morning routine. I'm gonna discuss the night routine in a second, but the right routine is the one that works for you. Don't just copy mine. Make a routine based on the goals you have, the lifestyle you want to live, and the structure which best fits your personality, your ability to learn and grow and function as a human being, as we are all different. So if that means waking up at a different time, maybe you don't want to journal, maybe you're not religious, so why would you Bible study? Change things around, make adjustments according to you. I want to give you the blueprint of what mine looks like so you can take bits and pieces that resonate with you. So hopefully that's very clear. Another thing to note before diving into the night routine is that this is serious stuff. I'll go as far to say, show me your routine and I'll show you your future. The habits in which you repeat consistently every single day with a small amount of fail are the ones which will shape your future lifestyle. If someone's a calm person, a peaceful person, a present person, I'd assume they meditate, or they had a very nice childhood, or something else. Maybe they've done psychedelics, maybe they've had a crazy trip and it's changed their entire mindset. Who knows? But you can tell a lot about a person by looking at how they structure their days. Someone who wakes up at whatever time they want and they don't have any habits they repeat daily, and they don't work out and they don't focus on what they're eating. They don't drink water. They don't read. They really don't use words much, like visually. They're not writing. They're not reading. They're not listening to podcasts or video essays or anything which is going to make them smarter. They've kind of just given up on learning after school. You're going to notice that effect through how they come across, their character, their success in their career. Of course, physically, if they're not working out and eating well, you're going to notice these things. And this is why a routine is so important. Treat it with respect. Respect your routine. Don't cheat it. Stick to it. Create it very intentionally with purpose, and it will change your life. And on that note, let's go into the night routine. Your day begins the night before. How you structure your night routines, how you approach getting ready for bed, will affect drastically how you experience tomorrow. So I want to take this with the utmost precision, seriousness, and attention to ensure that as we structure out the night routine, it is with the intended purpose of benefiting the future self. It's difficult to start your wind down routine at 7 p.m. It's difficult to stick to what you wrote down on a piece of paper simply because you told yourself you were going to do it when your friends are out partying and they call you up, or a good movie's playing, or there's some distraction out there. It's difficult. It's difficult. It really is hard. But the people who wake up every day with drive and energy and excitement to attack the day, who seem to have 10 times more time than you, while you struggle to even get out of bed at the same time every morning, those are the people who run laps around those who lack nighttime structure, who go to bed whenever they feel like it, who don't have a routine to wind down. That's why I want to stress the importance of this, and I want to bring it to your attention. My night routine, as I suggested, starts at 7 p.m. every night. After cooking for the family and eating, although I don't eat past 6 normally, but after cooking at 7 p.m., I will typically walk the dog. Again, this helps with any digestion from the food I ate prior, and it also kicks off the night routine. Once the clock hits 7, it's go time. Time to wind down. Tomorrow already started. What I do for the next hour will impact how I experience tomorrow. It will impact if I wake up tomorrow regretting my ignorant decisions from the past, or if I will wake up praising my past self for thinking long term. 7:30 p.m. is the bathroom ritual. Very similar to the one in the morning. I will wash my face, do all the stuff that every human does, and yeah, I mean, there's not much else to add there. It's just, I get ready for bed. Everyone knows what that means. 8 p.m., I will plan tomorrow. What that looks like is I'll grab my trusty Amazon notebook. I will grab my trusty Pilot G2 10-point pen, and I will write down 5 a.m., bathroom, 5:30, everything I discussed in this video. I'm writing down from top to bottom with every task that needs to get done. The ones at the beginning and the end, the bookends, you could say, remain practically the same every day, but the middle is what changes drastically day to day. After I write that down, in the corner, I'll write down a to-do list of everything that needs to get done. And those things are typically, of course, the middle of the things that change that I'm gonna maybe forget the next day to do. I'll have a to-do list. So everything's so clear, it's so structured. I used to have a printout for these time punches, but now I just write it myself in a notebook, so I'm much more hands-on and flexible. So that changed. But yeah, this is such an effective technique. You need to plan your days the day before, or else you'll wake up tomorrow wasting all your brain power and cognition on deciding what to do. You'll get decision fatigue rather than prioritizing pure action. It's much easier to make excuses to not take action when you don't have a plan, when you didn't make any promises to yourself, because you're gonna wake up without structure, without a routine, without a to-do list, and you're just gonna do whatever willy-nilly you wants to do. And I won't speak for you, but most people out there are drawn towards very negative, short-term thinking desires. They wanna eat junk food, they wanna skip the workout, they wanna lay on the couch and watch a movie. These things will only pull you further from the man you aspire to be. If you want to do it, go ahead. Forget the structure. Don't create a to-do list. Screw having a morning routine and a night routine. None of that matters. Just do whatever feels right. See what happens. Truly, if you think this is all silly, just test it out. See what happens. I'm so confident in having structure that I believe that it is one of the top reasons why I've been able to do anything in life, why I've been able to see progress in the gym, why I've been able to build various businesses in the online space, why I've been able to land clients which hundreds of other people are desperate to land. Because I have structure, I have routine, I know what I'm gonna do. After I plan tomorrow, I will stretch. And this is great just to open up the body, so when I actually hit the bed, when it's time to go to sleep, I don't feel all tight. It allows my blood to start flowing properly. And it also is a good habit to do daily. I just squeeze it in at the end of my day because we all should be flexible. We all should take care of our bodies, and stretching is a great way to do so. At 8:30, I aim to have my head hit the pillow. Sometimes it's 9 p.m. I'll be completely honest here. I'm not perfect. Sometimes it's 9 p.m. Sometimes it's 9:30. And I will tell you, I'm absolutely sure every single time the next day hits and I regret my past actions. If I'm waking up at 5 a.m. like I said I would, and I was up till 9:30, that is probably 7 hours of sleep or less, because it takes time to actually fall asleep once your head hits the pillow. I don't care about the movie I watched the day before. I've already forgotten it. I don't care about the TikToks, Instagram Reels I saw that night that kept me up late. I've already forgotten it. So I sacrificed long-term success, recovering my body better, waking up with energy to use throughout the entire day, with focus, with discipline. I lost confidence in myself because I didn't stick to what I said I would, simply for short-term pleasure. And I've never once been proud of that. I've never once thought that was a better decision than the latter, which is thinking long-term, sticking to the plan, staying disciplined, and seeing what happens. The goal here is to clear my mind as much as possible. So everything that was stressing me out throughout the day, which was top of mind and just keeping my brain running, starts to trickle into an insignificance. So I'm able to use the practice of meditation from earlier in the day to bring my mind towards the present moment and allow my brain to doze off. If I'm stressed, my mind is gonna kick into fight or flight and my heart rate's gonna speed up and it's gonna be hard to fall asleep. So I'm gonna be laying in bed for longer than I wanted to. And this is the importance of having a wind down. It turns off the brain. Again, when 7 o'clock hits, when I'm walking that dog, I don't want to think about anything else. That's for tomorrow. That's what I have in my to-do list. I've already thought about planning that out. And an hour later, I'm gonna write it down and I'm gonna execute on it the next day. That's for the future me. Right now, at 7 p.m., I need to think of the present moment. I need to forget about everything else and just be in the present. And when you start that at 7 and then 8 o'clock hits, 8:30 hits, whenever you want to go to bed, your mind is going to doze off so much faster. You're not going to be staying up in your bed with the sweats and with a racing mind. You're going to be present and you're going to very quickly fall asleep. And the next day, you're going to be so grateful for that. You're going to have the greatest sleep you've ever had. So that's an hour wind down routine. Sometimes it's like a 2-hour wind down routine. Every day is different, but that's how I have it structured right now. Another thing to note is you want to cut out all the blue light before bed. This means screens off. You can turn your phone to a red light mode in the color settings, and your phone can be red, so you can still use it. I do it with my monitor too, and then I have a light in this room which turns red. So every light that's around me is red, and sometimes it's still daylight outside because I go to bed so early that I will shut the blinds, make sure they're as tight as possible so no light's coming through. And then all I'm seeing is just red light. Blue light is something you want to cut out before bed because it suppresses your melatonin production. Melatonin is the body's natural sleep hormone. And when you're exposed to blue light before bed, specifically screens, melatonin production suppresses by up to 60%. This keeps your mind alert and it delays sleep. So red light in room, all devices to red, turn TVs off if you can, shut the blinds. Sometimes I put on red glasses so I don't have to worry about red light coming in. I get very particular with this because it's serious stuff, right? Like this will affect your sleep, and sleep really predicts how good of a day you're gonna have the next day. So it's incredibly important. Like any routine, the simpler, the better. The more complex and lengthy my routine is, the harder it is for me to actually follow that, to stay consistent with it. It's overreaching. It is impractical. This is why you need to have a short yet effective routine in the morning and the night, and ensure you're following it consistently, religiously, and with the utmost discipline and respect. All right, I talked a lot about my routine, and I hope you benefited from that. I hope you took something away from seeing how I structure my days. I want to share some routine essentials that you can directly apply to your own routine. The first thing is to have a wake-up time. A wake-up time is so important to have set. If you're waking up at different times of the day, your circadian rhythm, your natural body's alarm clock is going to be offset and confused and inconsistent. Your body's not going to know when to wake up, when to go to bed, because you have it shifted every day. When you lock in your wake-up time, your body will naturally wake up like 1 minute before the alarm clock, and you'll notice sometimes the alarm clock doesn't even wake you up. A burst of energy hits you at that set wake-up time. To complement that wake-up time, to make that wake-up time practical, to make it realistic, you need a sleep time. This is so important. A set time to go to sleep every single night. And I'm giving you the bare bones of a routine here. If anything, you need to incorporate these things. The normal human being needs to sleep, from my research, around 7 to 9 hours every night. If you're a teenager, if you're a bit younger, 8 to 10 hours. You want to sleep more because hormones are going crazy, you're developing. These are the prime years to get that sleep in and to allow yourself to not only grow, but also develop properly cognitively. It's a time to prioritize sleep like no other. Morning routine you need to have as well. This is the third thing. You need to have a set list of tasks that need to get done every single morning on the daily that you least want to do. Things that need to be repeated every single day that you least want to do. Stack them together so you can bust them out one after the other. This is like why I do the meditate, Bible study, journal. And then of course go to the gym after. I don't have space to, go on YouTube and search up some funny cat videos. I do that all the time. I'm watching funny cat videos probably for 5 hours a day. I'm just kidding. But having that structured morning routine allows you to get done what needs to get done. You start the day off with a bunch of solid wins. You start the day off building tenacity, growing that anterior mid-cingulate cortex, and ultimately just getting a high, which you can use throughout the rest of the day, setting the standard in the morning, setting the frequency, setting the pace, and sticking with that throughout the rest of the day. You also need that night routine that's so important. Stack habits together which cause you to wind down, to calm the mind, to get ready for sleep. The fifth thing, which is an essential for routines, is planning tomorrow the day before. I already went over all the stuff, all the tactical standard operating procedures for approaching this, and I hope you follow it wisely. The sixth thing is a to-do list. Again, next to my planner for the day, I have a to-do list next to it to ensure I'm checking things off throughout the day and nothing gets left behind, which I said I would do. Now, here's a warning for all of you who are gonna build out your routine, improve your routine, whatever it is. You will fall off your routine. As Alex Hormozy puts it, you're gonna lose sleep. You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. You won't finish your to-do list. You'll wonder whether you made the right call and have no way to know for years. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay. The same applies to living a life with intentional structure. If it starts to suck, good. You know you're on the right path, and that path leads to growth. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. I actually recorded this one because in my last video, someone commented asking for this topic. So go off, do what you want with the information. Comment down below your story, any questions you have, any things you want to add to the information I shared to hopefully help others out there, and then also requests for future videos. I'll see you in the next one.